Tonight from Tampa, the South Florida Bulls host the Utah State Aggies. Welcome inside the Yuengling Center. We've been looking forward to this one tonight. Jim Lauk along with Phil Gall. Utah State, a little unconventional, but boy, they do things well. They're 7-0. Bulls glad to be home after 3 games in the Bahamas. Quite an interesting matchup tonight.
It's going to be a fantastic matchup. Like you said, Utah is controlled chaos on the defensive end, and they're doing well with it. And USF plays both sides of the ball incredibly well. So I'm looking forward to a really good show-off of both offense and defense. Both teams are going to be incredible.
Two very powerful offensive teams. South Florida tends to go as guard Joseph Pinion goes.
It's absolutely true. Joseph Pinion, this guy, when he gets hot, he is incredible. The problem is, in 3 of the 4 losses that USF has had, Joseph has not scored more than 10 points. So if they get him in double digits, we're in good shape for USF. Big Toe Joe is out to play.
Utah State's second consecutive 7-0 start. MJ Collins, terrific scorer, and he can distribute too.
He has made the rest of his teammates better by distributing the ball as well as he has, but also he can really fill it up. He's shooting 52% from behind the arc and averaging 30.5 points over his last 3 games. It's incredible.
Had a 40-point game against Davidson earlier this season. So the Aggies come to town led by Jared Calhoun, 33-8 in his Utah State career. They've been 7-0 at the start of a season 3 times in the last 4 years. For South Florida, Brian Hodgson in his first year, 4-4 on the season. 3 games in the Bahamas and now back home for a couple in Tampa. Both of these teams will put points on the board. Question will be how well they shoot from the perimeter. And we're set to go with Nelson jumping for the Bulls, Templin for the Aggies, and we are underway. Pinion, the Arkansas State transfer. Wes Enos with a touch. Shot clock single digits. That's a rarity for the Bulls. Here's Pinion. And the rebound pulled down by Drake Allen. Here's the starters for Utah State. Collins, Anderson, Allen, Falslev, and Templin. That's been the starting 5 for the Aggies in every game this year except 1. Collins with the dish. And now the jumper. Strong rebound for Nelson, and South Florida controls. Here's the Bulls starters: Enos, Pinion, Omajafo, Brown, and Nelson. A little contact, and the Bulls turn it over.
A little bit of a collision there. Nelson didn't quite have his feet under him, couldn't quite control it. Looks like they're really trying to find a rhythm here in these first opening minutes.
A little bit of backcourt pressure for South Florida. Just underway from the Yuengling Center, Drake Allen off the glass. And the Bulls deny the second chance. Brown to the hoop. And Nelson with the follow. South Florida up first.
That's just size and power. You can't stop that.
Quick jumper the other way, no good by Tucker Anderson. And that's going to go back to Utah State.
Just take a look at this. Just too much strength. Rebounder there, but couldn't do anything about it for the Aggies.
Here's Collins working on Brown. Slices through 2 defenders, but can't finish. Utah State is opened 0 for 4 from the floor. Pinion from the corner. Halfway down, but the Bulls control and they'll reset.
High IQ play there for Pinion, getting it out and resetting that clock.
Enos lost the handle for a moment. Now Omajafo And Allen pulls down the rebound for Utah State. Templin into the paint. Nelson forced him into a tough shot, and the Aggies come up empty again. Brown in transition, Pinion trailing the play, and that's a good sign for South Florida. The first three of the night for Joseph Pinion.
He's shot well specifically in this building. Now we're seeing a little full court pressure from University of South Florida.
Templin's shot no good. Bulls ratcheting up the defensive pressure, now attacking the other way. Omajafo with a three. And a good job on the boards by the Aggies. Mason Falsleff with the rebound. Collins, the three, missed everything. But the Aggies alertly keep the ball, and Falsleff hits the three. 35% from three from Mason Falslev, and he gets the Aggies on the board.
Huge effort from Tucker Anderson there to just leap out of bounds and save that ball, creating an opportunity for the Aggies.
Pinion guarded closely at the perimeter. 5 to shoot. Enos in time and hits the three. Wes Enos with his first points.
That's just an in-rhythm shot. Good pass out from the baseline.
Now the Bulls felt coming into this game that they might have some opportunities from the three-point line. They've already cashed in on 2 of them. Nice reverse to the hoop. It's Falslev, the junior guard. He's got 5. Utah State will swarm to the basketball. They are amongst the nation's leaders in forcing turnovers. Brown with an open look, and the threes continue to fall for South Florida. Falslev the other way. That's blocked out of there by Nelson. 6-point South Florida lead. 9 of the 11 points have come behind the arc. No good on the jumper by Anderson, but the Bulls misplay it out of bounds. We'll go to break, but South Florida has the three-point game working early. They're up on Utah State by 6. Kaylee Cottrell joining us courtside with more on the Bulls and the Aggies.
This is Utah State head coach Jared Calhoun's second season coaching the Aggies, and in his first season he had one of the strongest debuts in program history, leading the team to a 26-8 record and an NCAA tournament appearance. Now the Bulls knew this was going to be a big game, so they pulled out some stops tonight. They have Frank the Tank from Barstool Sports in attendance tonight. They're doing a whiteout, they're giving out free hats, free shirts, concession vouchers, so it should be a rocking environment in here tonight. So we'll see if the Bulls can use it to their advantage or fuel to the fire for the Aggies.
Big crowd tonight. The student section, the Amir Abdur-Rahim student section looks great, and the Bulls are off to a good start here. Nice out of bounds play. Elijah Perriman got that ball into Falslev. He's got all 7 for Utah State. Here comes the pressure defense. Bulls get it into the front court, but the trapping continues. You'd think with the Bulls' frenetic offensive pace that they might have turnover problems, but they're a plus 5.5 turnovers per game this year. That's going to be on the rim. They're going to get Damon Collins, who had just come in for offensive goaltending. Phil's got our keys to the game.
What you really see here for Utah State is the thievery. They have 2 great guards who are averaging huge numbers when it comes to steals, and their team defense in general is what they lean on. The South Florida, they're looking at balanced scoring through this whole game and their team defense.
Nice entry pass, and Tucker Anderson with the quick 2. Aggies can score in a hurry. It's back down to a 2-point game.
Aggies are putting out that 1-2-2 full court press. And so far, South Florida's done a great job of getting someone to the center and attacking it.
Pinion able to go in, penetrate, and hit the shot from the paint.
South Florida calling off the pressure for a moment.
This is going to be a game when you're going to have to go deep into your bench. Guys are pressuring on both ends of the court here, both teams so far.
This is a game where you cannot take a break on defense because both of these teams will make you pay if you take that break.
Colby King just in the game for the first time, too strong with that one.
Both Colby King and Collins have been shooting fantastic numbers near the 50% mark.
Great effort by Enos. Couldn't get it the first time, stayed with it, and drew the foul.
Aggies foul number 11, Gary Clark, that's his first.
Take a look at Pinion getting into the paint, two-footed stop, got his defender off balance, and was able to convert in the paint.
Clark got the foul, his first. These are the first free throws of the game for either team. Enos averaging 12.5 per game.
South Florida is getting to the line 30 times per game and shooting 74.6%.
Yeah, 22 makes per game from the free throw line. That's sixth best in Division I. Only 1 out of 2 there. 5 points South Florida lead.
It speaks heavily to the ability of South Florida to keep their opponents off balance defensively.
King runs into traffic, and Pinion winds up with a basketball off the miss by Clark. Deep three for Pinion, that's in his range, and Joseph Pinion has a quick 8 points for South Florida.
What isn't in Showtime Joe's range at this point? I mean,
and a turnover for the Aggies, so South Florida will get the ball back, enjoying their biggest lead of this game. Adriel Niora has checked in. He's an interesting story. Freshman, wasn't getting many minutes, but last few games have been a different story. His minutes have increased and his productivity has been outstanding. Tried to get that ball into Collins and it's slapped away. Perryman looking for some help. Here's King. And the baseline drive whistles blow. I think they're going to get Collins there on the MJ Collins drive. He should get free throws.
Foul number 6, Damian Collins. That's his first.
First on Damian Collins. And MJ Collins is going to go to the free throw line.
I mean, it's pretty incredible that 40-piece he dropped on November 23rd at the Charleston Classic. I mean, not many players can fill it up like that.
One common opponent between these two teams, VCU. The Bulls took a loss in that matchup. Utah State won that game. There is a look at Collins, 40 against Davidson. And off to a good start here tonight as well. Bulls are the second team from the American that the Aggies have faced. They played Tulane earlier, beat them by 21.
They are continuing after South Florida here up to Charlotte for another American matchup with the 49ers.
Isaiah Jones in the game for South Florida. Bulls fighting the pressure. Omajafo breaks it. Sometimes it can get you easy baskets. And that was the case there for the Bulls.
That's exactly what I was talking about, how to fight that type of press is get someone in the middle, turn around, and a lot of times no one's going to be there. Took it straight to the rack. Nobody can stop that.
King with an open look from three. Niora the rebound. Jones on the breakout and a foul. He'll get free throws.
Good outlet.
Bulls on the run, and they built an 8-point lead over Utah State here in the first half in Tampa.
Back here to the Yuengling Center, let's take a look at Joseph Pinion. He has opened up this game shooting very well to begin with. 3 from the top, getting in the paint, making it happen multiple ways, but also here's a little bit of deep range. He's really having a strong first half, which we've seen multiple times. In his last game, he had 20 points in the first half, ending with 24. He likes to get out and get it done early.
4 3-pointers for the Bulls tonight, 2 of them belonging to Pinion. And now Isaiah Jones will go to the free throw line here in an 8-point game.
Isaiah Jones at the line, shooting 2.
Jones transfer from Detroit Mercy. Bulls have hit 5 of their last 7 shots. They felt they needed to hit threes coming into this matchup tonight. So far they have, and now they have a 10-point advantage. No backcourt pressure this time for the Bulls. Harriman looking to get the ball inside. Now they kick it out. The jumper is up and no good by Adlon El-Amin. And again, the Bulls, good work on the boards. Not many second chances for the Aggies. Here's Niora to the hoop with the left hand to put the Bulls up by a dozen.
Coach mentioned Niora has really figured it out, what they need from him, both on the defensive side and the offensive side, and the pace that he has to play at. That's why you're seeing this improvement over the last few games, both in minutes and production.
Nelson rejects M.J. Collins, and the Bulls coming the other way. Brown kicks it outside. Good ball movement. Omejafo with the Bulls' 5th three-pointer of the first half. And Utah State wants a timeout. South Florida has built a 15-point lead, a 9-0 run over the last minute 20.
Beautiful drive here. And what you're seeing is this USF team moving the ball, making that crazy defense work, and they're making them pay with these three-pointers.
Bulls now 56% from the floor, 62% from 3. You see Omejafo's numbers. And South Florida doing just what they set out wanting to do so far in this matchup.
Currently, South Florida is on a 9-0 run over the last minute and 18 seconds. They've hit 4 of their last 4 shots. And unfortunately, Utah State has not had a field goal in 3 minutes and 41 seconds. So this has been a turn in favor of South Florida.
Utah State just 4 of 18 from the floor so far. And there you see it. No hoops in almost 4 minutes. And that one missed everything. Niora with the rebound. South Florida on the run again. Tried to toss it for Nelson. Nice anticipation by the Aggies. They take it away.
Had that gone, I think this place would have erupted.
Good job by the Bulls getting back defensively there, forcing Utah State into the half-court offense. 10 to shoot.
Might be the deepest Utah State has gotten into their shot clock.
Allen running out of time. That goes out of bounds, but they will inbound with only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Allen going to have to launch a desperation 3, and South Florida pulls down the rebound.
Nelson cleared that board and made that defensive effort worth it, stopping the Aggies.
Sometimes with a desperation shot like that, you get crazy bounces. You wind up giving up offensive rebounds, but not that time for the Bulls. That one is slapped out of bounds. It'll go back to South Florida with 12 to shoot.
Jim, you make a great point. With a last-minute shot like that, the ball could end up anywhere, and those are offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds that are hard to get because they're coming off funny in places people aren't.
Bulls a +3 in the rebounding battle so far tonight. Gotta watch the shot clock here. Brown with single digits. In time from the corner, but Niora is too strong with it. Falslev with a rebound. He's played well tonight, but they kick it outside, trying to get it to Collins. Allen throws it away. It's a turnover for Utah State. And a rough start for Jared Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun, you know, back-to-back 7-0 starts to their seasons. And this is going to be a real test to see if they can fix what is wrong here in this first half.
Great career at Youngstown State before coming to Utah. The drive to the basket, that's C.J. Brown. He's got 5 on the night. An 11-0 South Florida run. Aggies haven't scored in 3.5 minutes. That ball slapped away. Bulls with the steal. Pinion picks it up mid-stride. Good job getting back defensively by Utah State. Niora can't find anything and throws it away. That's a somewhat rare unforced error for the Bulls in this game. That's only their 3rd turnover of the night.
C.J. Brown just getting in and dicing through the defense. Here's another look at it. Good finish right around the big body of Keller.
17 points, South Florida lead. There's Falslev. He was off to a great start, had the first 7 points for Utah State. Looking for more here. And the rebound taken off the floor by Enos. Going through traffic, dishes it off, and that'll be a foul. Got it to Nelson, who took a hard spill after contact, and he'll get free throws. Carson Templin gets the foul, his first.
You like to see them giving the big man his due for running the floor, getting a shot, getting to the free throw line.
Isaiah Nelson coming to South Florida from Arkansas State, where he played for Brian Hodgson. Teammate of Joseph Pinion there as well. This Utah State team 7-0. They are the last unbeaten team in the Mountain West.
Number 9, Gavin Hightower checks into the game from the
They're 3rd in the NCAA in steals. They're 7th in the nation in field goal percentage. And the Bulls have them down 19.
On paper, this team statistically is a powerhouse. In reality today, I don't know if it's the flight out to the East Coast or the overtime game they had before this, but it looks like they're a little shaken and not quite in a rhythm.
Falslev can't finish. Gavin Hightower, freshman in the game for South Florida. Here's Pinion. That one rattles out. Falslev coming the other way. Now Allen. Aggies picking up the pace a little bit, but having a hard time finding shots in the half-court offense, and they throw it away. Here comes Pinion with the steal. Boy, he wanted that 3, but the dunk is a higher percentage, and Nelson finishes. That's some unselfish basketball.
Pinion finds Hightower. Hightower finds Nelson for the big flush.
15-point South Florida run. That 3 is no good, but Falslev tracks down the rebound. Under 7 minutes to go, first half. Allen backs his way in. That is an offensive foul, I believe. They're going to whistle it. We'll see which way it goes as Isaiah Nelson takes us to break with the dunk. South Florida with a big lead here in the first half, and we've got more basketball for you from the Yuengling Center next week. as the College of Charleston comes to town. Led by Connor Hickman. That'll be Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you right here on ESPN Plus. For South Florida and College of Charleston. Phil, it's easy to talk about the South Florida offense, but let's talk about their defense a little bit. This Utah State team came in shooting 53% from the floor for the season. Tonight, 17%.
I mean, they have put a body on an Aggie player every time they have touched the ball. They've made it difficult the entire time. And the Aggies just haven't been making some of those shots. Wow, what an explosion.
C.J. Brown with emphasis.
What can Brown do for you? He can slam it home. That's what he can do.
After Gary Clark ended the 15-0 run, C.J. Brown just kind of outdid him. That's going to be a foul as Falstaff took it to the basket.
Take a look at this. Just explosion at full speed while running off 1 foot. That's a difficult jump, and he made it look easy.
C.J. Brown, one of 2 returning players on this team. 6 minutes to go, first half. South Florida has been in control all night. Collins with an outside jumper. That's maybe a little bit out of his comfort zone. And here comes Allen the other way. And stepping out of bounds was M.J. Collins. That'll be a Utah State turnover.
Tiptoed the sideline. Didn't quite make it. Out of bounds. You can start to see some frustration building on the Aggies side that their offense is not doing anything.
It's an important 5.5 minutes for the Bulls here. You've dominated the first half, and you want to go into halftime with that momentum and this kind of lead. You don't want Utah State getting back in it.
Absolutely. We used to talk often about how the last 2 minutes of a half are the most important, because if you give up, say you give up 2 shots back to back, that's 4 points. You come back from the halftime and you give up 2 more. That's an 8-point swing so quickly. So this is important time for South Florida to really hunker down and finish strong in this first half.
Kobe King picks up the foul. Enos will go to the free throw line, where the Bulls are 5 out of 6 tonight. And the lead is now 20. King will check out with his second foul. There's a little background on Enos, one of the many new faces on this team. Brian Hodgson has pulled things together very quickly with a totally reconstructed roster for this season.
Aggies had 10 new players this season, 5 true freshmen and 5 transfers.
Falstaff looking for the foul, didn't get the whistle, and here comes South Florida.
Falstaff, the only returning starter from last season at Utah State.
For the Bulls, it's only C.J. Brown and Deontay Green, and Green has been injured all year. Enos a little too strong, and the save by Clark for Utah State. Quick jumper by Collins. He's been looking for a shot. He's been quiet offensively, but that's his first 3, and it gives him 5 for the game. This Utah State team averages 89 points per game. They've got plenty of firepower and plenty of time to get back if the Bulls aren't careful.
That's exactly what is dangerous about this Utah State team. They can fill it up real quick.
Falstaff from 3. And Brown the rebound for South Florida. 4 minutes left in the half. Nelson will get fouled away from the basket. That's going to be on Allen. We go to break with South Florida up 17.
This is the Sunshine State, but it is raining threes here in Tampa. Everyone from South Florida getting involved from all sides of the basket. USF has got it going behind the arc. And Aggies do not have an answer currently for that outside shooting.
Players for South Florida, Wes Enos among them. And the Bulls leading by 17 here with an out-of-bounds play coming after the foul before the break. Here comes Brown, gets stripped on his way in. Nelson, right place, right time, and another foul will be called on Utah State.
South Florida's done a great job of penetrating, making the Aggies collapse.
There's a look at how the Bulls are distributing the offense. That's pretty impressive. 5 different players averaging double figures. Bulls score 91 a game. One out of 2, and again a second chance for South Florida. Bulls have led all the way. Here's Pinion, and that's the biggest lead of the first half. 21-point margin. Pinion, the first Bull in double figures tonight.
That's 3 for Pinion, halfway to his career high of 6, which he's hit twice this season already.
Touch last by Utah State off the King miss from 3. Aggies just 2 of 14 behind the arc. Brian Hodgson told us at shoot-around today that they thought they might have some opportunities from the three-point line. Well, they've got 6 of them here in the first half, and it's been one of the big differences in this game. Here's Niora. Dribbling through traffic, now gets out of it. Bulls getting low on time here. No worry, Pinion's got it going from 3. That one rims off, and Perriman with the rebound. King saves it in the corner, and again the Bulls back defensively. Nothing in transition for Utah State. Clark with a turnaround, and South Florida with the boards. Niora lost the handle, and that'll be a turnover on South Florida.
Nora, part of the Canada's under-19 team at the last FIBA World Cup, and they took home bronze. Not only him, but also teammates Tristan Beckford and Onyx. It's incredible the effect that we're getting from international players. I know Canada's just next door, but we have some great players here from across the border.
Perriman throws it away. Omajafo through traffic, lays it in with the left hand. Josh Omajafo has 7.
Immense body control on that drive. What I find interesting is we have 3 international players on South Florida this year, and the Aggies, first time in many seasons, all of their players are from the regional U.S.
Collins with the hoop to end another South Florida run. Bulls had run off 6 in a row. Final 90 seconds of the first half, and it has been a good one for South Florida. Brown trying to get it to the corner. Great anticipation by Falslev, but then he has it taken away. And it looks like it'll be Utah State's ball. I think C.J. Brown tried to get the time out there, and they didn't give it to him, so the Aggies will get the basketball.
Brown is pleading with the ref, saying, I had my time. I called it. Before I got out of bounds, I called it.
Enos pressuring in the backcourt. Bulls have led all the way in this one. Utah State coming in 7-0 on the season. Falslev, tough turnaround shot, and the rebound taken by Nelson. Boy, the Bulls have been solid defensively. They have forced some difficult shots. Here comes Nelson, contact, and let's see how they call it. That will be an offensive foul on Nelson. That's his first.
Nelson with only one foul in the first half is great for South Florida. He's had some foul trouble this season, and his presence on the floor really makes a difference for the Bulls.
Collins with the jumper over Brown, and the rebound South Florida. Shot and game clock virtually identical here, so the Bulls can take their time and try to get a good final shot of this first half. They are going to go to the locker room with a huge lead regardless of what happens in the final 8 seconds. Enos coming around the screen, can't get it to fall, and the Bulls run out of time. But now it's going to be 1.6 to go. So Utah State will have an opportunity here if they can heave one from long distance. Here's Allen, now falsely, and the clock expires before the shot. South Florida with a wire-to-wire lead in the first half, and they are going to go to the break with a 21-point lead over 7-0 Utah State. Pinion and Omajafo leading the way offensively, but it was the South Florida defense that was the story. Kaylee has Brian Hodgson. So we are going to break. Halftime at the Yuengling Center. South Florida up 21 on Utah State. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. It's all South Florida so far tonight as we get set to start the second half. The Bulls with a 21-point lead. Let's take a look at the AP top 10. Purdue, Arizona, Michigan, and Duke all unbeaten. UConn, Louisville, Michigan State, Houston, BYU, and Iowa State round out the top 10. And keep in mind, this Utah State team was receiving votes coming into this matchup tonight thanks to their great 7-0 start. So the Bulls up 21 points.
Only the 10th time in school history to start 7-0. And if they can pull this game out, it'll be 8-0. That's only 5 times in school history that's ever happened.
Take a look at where the Bulls are headed after this one tonight. They've been on the road for a while, so they get to stay home. We'll have the game against Charleston for you next week here on ESPN+. Then it's on the road to Alabama. Back home for UMBC, Georgia College and State, couple of home games. And then the new year begins with conference play on ESPN2 as the UAB Blazers come to town. Around the American, well, you're watching the only game in town for tonight, but there is more coming up. Tomorrow, UAB goes out of conference against Drake. And then a pretty full schedule on Saturday with East Carolina, Memphis, Wichita State, Tulsa, Tulane, and Temple all in action. Great time of the year. The games are starting to mount up a little bit. Everybody's busy, and there's going to be a lot of basketball to watch this weekend. First half for South Florida. They shot the ball well. The Aggies did not. 3-point range, effective for the Bulls. Pinion and Falslev, the leading scorers. And again, that shooting percentage for the Aggies, over 50% from the floor for their first 7 games, 24% in the first half tonight.
I think a lot of that has to do with South Florida's defense. If you watch them on the defensive side, every cut, every movement through the lane, someone's got a forearm on somebody. You can't make it through. You can't cut anywhere without finding a body. Defense has been strong.
They force M.J. Collins into a difficult shot, and now the Bulls with the basketball. Brown to the basket, and he drops it in. C.J. Brown with 9.
Strong game from Brown, getting it done both aggressively one-on-one, going straight to the hoop. He's also shooting from outside.
If you're South Florida, that's just how you want this half to begin. Good answer by Mason Falslev. He has been their top offensive player tonight. Now has a dozen points. Omajafo to the basket, and that'll be a foul on Utah State.
Again, South Florida breaking Utah State's full court press pretty quickly, with Pinion coming in the middle, bringing the ball to the opposite side, and going straight to the hoop.
Second foul on Templin. It'll be an out-of-bounds play for the Bulls. If you're South Florida, you don't want to give Utah State even a glimmer here early second half. You just want to keep the foot on the accelerator.
I'm sure that these first 5 minutes of this second half are imperative for South Florida to really set the tone and let the Aggies know the first half was not a fluke. And the Aggies have to make it up on the offensive end.
Omajafo is blocked out of there by Anderson. Strong block. And it'll be South Florida basketball with 6 to shoot. Watch Anderson get everything here.
It's a beautiful move, but that shot did not have much of a chance.
Bulls need something quick here, and that was quick. Free throws coming up as Nelson is fouled on his way to the basket.
Just a pile of humanity from him as he landed on the ground after that dunk attempt.
That'll be the third on Carson Templin. And Nelson will get free throws. That's the 11th free throw of this game for South Florida. Utah State has only been to the free throw line twice.
The refs have really let them play, particularly underneath, and when the ball doesn't have, when nobody really has control, they've been letting them go after it and play to figure out who's going to come up with it. Refs have not been super involved with stoppage on loose ball situations.
9 for Nelson, 5 points from the line, and Anderson looks like he got poked in the eye. They're going to whistle Pinion, who didn't think so. So Anderson says he's okay. Pinion still laughing. There's no foul called, and it's Utah State basketball. Allen has it knocked away. Kobe King now can't find a shot. False lead, but the whistles blow first. This is off the ball, and I think it's going to be on C.J. Brown of South Florida.
I believe you're right. Clark and him have been putting in work in that low post during that entire offensive run right there.
First on Brown, shot clock reset to 20. That one rolls off. Allen had it for a moment, tried to throw it off Omajafo, but he stepped on the line, and it'll be South Florida basketball. Utah State with the backcourt pressure. They've got to ratchet up the intensity a little bit now. A lot of time left, but a 22-point South Florida lead. Brown needs some help. Falslev will slap that out of bounds. Back to the Bulls with 11 to shoot.
Utah State only has 3 steals so far for a team that averages almost 12 a game. USF has done a fantastic job of taking care of the ball.
Enos can't finish on the nice give and go. And here comes Colby King the other way. And a tie up. If it's a held ball, it's going to go to South Florida. So the Bulls will have the basketball.
What I really like out of South Florida right now, Nelson has been on the floor at least 4 times, going after the ball, being fouled going up. That is a lot of effort for a big man, and you don't always see the centers getting down and dirty like that.
Again, the backcourt pressure. And the Bulls get across in time. Early second half. Bulls have led this one all the way so far. Single digits on the shot clock. Brown has it slapped out of there by Adlon El-Amin, who had just checked in, and a transition basket for Drake Allen. Boy, there haven't been many of those for Utah State tonight. Back to a 20-point margin.
So far, the second half has had slightly more controlled, a slightly slower, more half-court style of ball. And it doesn't seem to be really producing much for either team right now. Look at Utah get out in transition here. What a great outlet to Allen with the finish. All started off fantastic defense by Utah State.
Drake Allen picks up his second foul, so he will go to the bench. And Bulls will have an out-of-bounds play. Had to get it to Brown, slapped away, and the Bulls will try it again here. They were fairly close to a 5 seconds. This time they get it in quickly. Collins, and he draws the foul. Damian Collins will get free throws for South Florida.
66 from the free throw line, 66% from the free throw line this season for Collins.
Gary Clark picks up the foul, his second. Bulls have not been able to get the offense going in this second half. They haven't scored in over 2 minutes. They've got 4 points in the half. 2 of them from the free throw line. I'm not sure if Collins has a little blood or not here. They're going to go check him out. Maybe a contact lens problem. Collins, former Kentucky Wildcat, also at LSU, first year with South Florida.
Collins really provides a length that a lot of players on South Florida doesn't have. He's got long arms, long legs. He can take up a lot of space.
Bulls continue their outstanding work from the free throw line. Collins will have one more. And back to 21 for South Florida. Collins checks out. Isaiah Nelson has returned. Elijah Perriman back in for Utah State. He kicks it off to the corner. And the three is up and good for Adlon El-Amin, 6'9" freshman who's shooting 30% from 3. Bulls give it up against pressure. Here comes Perriman. He throws it away. And the Bulls get it right back. Pinion saw Keller's back turned, ran to the basket, kicks it off. The shot no good by Oma Jaffo. But the Bulls have another chance. Seven to shoot. And Jones throws it away. Coming back the other way, broken up by Pinion and now taken away by Brown. Both teams struggling with the turnover bug. That's going to be a held ball. It will be Utah State basketball. And we will go to break, and both head coaches will try to get the offenses straightened out. South Florida by 19. Short turnaround for us. 11 a.m. tomorrow. The USF women against Houston Christian on Education Day. There will be 8,000 screaming school kids at the Yingling Center. Believe me, there's nothing else like it. We look forward to it every year. Grace Booth, outstanding scorer. Houston Christian has won their last 3 games, and they will face South Florida 11 a.m. tomorrow on Education Day. And we look forward to bringing you that on ESPN+. Early second half here. King leans in and hits the shot. Colby King, Butler, St. John's, Tulane, and now Utah State gets his team a little closer. Here's Oma Jaffo. A little too fancy trying to get it to Nelson. It goes out of bounds. Touch last by Utah State, but now they're going to make a foul call on South Florida. They get Oma Jaffo his second foul. That was by the trail official who came in from behind to make that call. So the Bulls in a little dry spell here. Offensive foul, they're going to get the ball back, but South Florida doesn't have a hoop in 4.5 minutes.
The offense in the second half has dried up a little bit for both teams. There's still plenty of effort happening, but the ball's just not finding the bottom of the net.
Bulls have only 1 hoop in the second half. Everything else is free throws. Here's Pinion. That's the guy that can correct that in a hurry. Joseph Pinion with another 3.
4th of the game for Pinion.
He's got 14 to lead all scorers. And off the ball, that's going to be an offensive foul on Adlon Elamine.
The Aggie guards are trying to go to these screens from their big men before their big men are planted their feet, which is getting them in trouble with these, off-ball screen fouls.
Adriel Niora has checked back in for South Florida. Oma Jaffo left King standing, but gets blocked on his way up. It's tapped out, and Perriman with the reverse. And that'll be a held ball. That was Templin for Utah State. And Enos for South Florida. And they're wearing out the possession arrow. It's going to be South Florida this time.
I tell you what, man, they were arguing over that ball like the last piece of pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. It was incredible.
Enos was giving up a lot of size in that matchup.
Did not matter.
20 points, South Florida lead. That's going to be a travel on South Florida. Let's get down to courtside. Kaylee has more on Wes Enos.
even though Wes Enos is a Division II All-American transfer who averaged 20 points a game last season, he said his identity starts on the defensive end. He said, I was a zero-star prospect out of high school, but defense is where I can shut people down. But guys, I think all that work shows up in his shooting too. Enos makes 800 shots a day, including 423s every morning. He said in 8th grade, he even switched shooting hands from righty to lefty because he said it just felt more natural.
Thank you, Kaylee. Three-pointer from El Amin. That's his second of the day coming off the bench, giving Utah State a lift. Interesting players, 6'9" freshman showing a great range shooting the basketball. That is knocked out of bounds, and it's touched last by Pinion, and you can just see the momentum starting perhaps to change a little bit here as the Aggies try to come back.
South Florida has to be very careful here on the defensive end and try to get a stop.
And that one falls off for Collins, but he'll have a chance to go to the free throw line.
Collins trying to get it going in the second half. Very unusually quiet first half for him.
We talked about the rarity of free throws for Utah State. They're 2 of 2 from the line tonight. That was Collins earlier in the game, and he's going back to the line now with 7 points on the night. 40-point game against Davidson, came in averaging 21.3 per game. And the Bulls, for the most part, have held him in check.
An unusual miss from the free throw line, coming in shooting 95% from the free throw line.
Student section has every prop imaginable trying to distract him there. 1 out of 2 for Collins. But it's down to 16 now. The Aggies trying to make their way back into this, and again the backcourt pressure. And the Bulls turn it over. Unforced, Brown loses the handle out of bounds. That's one thing the full court pressure does, Phil. It can wear you down in the second half.
The second half is the hardest time to get pressed. Your legs are tired, you're mentally fatigued, and you start making silly mistakes, just like that inbounds to C.J. Brown.
Bulls were up 21 at the half, now up 16. Falslev, and he has drawn a foul. So this South Florida team, which has their challenges with the number of fouls they commit, they had played almost foul-free basketball in the first half, not so here in the second half. Falslev misses the first one. You see his season so far came in averaging a little under 14 per game.
Kind of interesting. Falslev got married this offseason in May.
Looking for his 13th point. He gets 1 of 2. And the Bulls facing a lot of blue shirts in the backcourt. Almost taken away. Jones able to hang on to it for South Florida, but what that pressure does also is gets the Bulls out of their time frame that they like to have offensively. They're already deeper in the shot clock before they even go to the hoop. There's Nelson with the offensive board, and the foul will be called on Utah State. Aggies coming back. It's a 15-point South Florida lead. Utah State trying to fight their way back into this one after the Bulls built a 21-point halftime lead. As mentioned earlier, Utah State is the last remaining unbeaten in the Mountain West. Preseason #2 behind San Diego State. And Phil, this is why the Bulls really need to try to finish this one off. Utah State is a quad 1 opponent. Those kind of wins are golden when you get to March.
It is a marquee win on a schedule that just shows that you can play against anyone.
First one good for Nelson, who is now 6 of 7 from the line. He becomes the second bull tonight in double figures, joining Joseph Pinion. Bulls haven't gone quite so deep into their bench for minutes tonight. A lot of minutes for Enos Pinion. Nelson, there's the drive to the basket, and El Amin gets rejected by the rim. Enos back in for South Florida. Tight defense here by the Aggies. Shot clock single digits once again.
The Aggies have definitely turned up the pressure on the defensive end.
Enos creates a little space and hits the short jumper. 7 for Enos. This will be a foul on South Florida coming back the other way.
Take a look here. Enos just gets into the paint, gets separation from false left, and finishes with a beautiful little floater.
Nelson just picked up the foul, and that is the third on the big guy. So he's heading to the bench, and the Bulls are going to get whistled again here. First on Isaiah Jones. There's the numbers on Nelson tonight. Already has his double-double, but take note, he goes out at the 11:03 mark with 3 fouls. Let's see how long Brian Hodgson will sit him down. Falslev to the free throw line. That's his 14th point.
So far, Nelson has done a fantastic job of really owning the offensive defensive paint, both sides. With him out, it'll be an interesting time for the Aggies to create some offensive rebounds, just like that.
And Collins able to swoop in and get that one after the miss. So the Bulls get out of trouble there. Brown looking inside. Boy, what a great first step. He's got a mismatch against the 6'9" El Amin. And El Amin is going to get charged with a foul.
You can see C.J. Brown there give El Amin just a slight twist of his body going to the right. El Amin tried to adjust, and immediately that first step, C.J. Brown took advantage and got to the hoop.
His 10th point, one more coming. And the Bulls now 14 of 17 from the free throw line.
One of the Aggies' professional thieves checks back in.
And the rebound taken by Utah State, Drake Allen.
Drake Allen has had a game this season with 15 steals alone. That is absolutely wild.
Bulls pressuring on the sideline. Nice job by Perriman to get rid of it. Five to shoot. Here comes Collins. Too strong off the glass. Did not catch the rim, but we're going to have a tie-up here with Collins and Templin. And that's going to be a tough break for the Bulls. It'll be a held ball, shot clock reset when it was down to about 2.
Templin has done a great job of just injecting himself into situations and getting a hand on the ball, making frustrating plays for South Florida.
Big guy, 6'9", 230. Templin, a junior out of Fairview, Texas. They're going to go look at tape here. And it could be one of two things. They could be looking at the shot clock, which right now has been reset to 20, or they might be looking at the little tussle at the end of that play between Collins and Templin here. But regardless, the officials are looking at replay here with 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go.
I can tell you this much. The officials have been much busier in this second half. Here's another look at it. Good tie up in the air, and then here you go. Templin just getting in there.
Yeah, it was really Templin coming in late. It was Falslev who was there first.
Yep. Clean jump ball there, and then a little bit of handsiness by Templin.
I don't think there's enough there.
After review, the ball did not hit the rim. There will be 2 seconds on the shot clock.
So it was the shot clock they were looking at. So it's a different scenario now for Utah State. Instead of a reset to 20 seconds, they've got to get this ball airborne in a hurry. Templin blocked out of there, and there's the shot clock violation. The top shot blocker on South Florida is Damian Collins. That's his 12th of the year.
That's why I talk about that length. He's got such long arms and can jump slightly late and still get to a block, which is incredible.
Good job
Great
by the
reversal.
Bulls to break pressure. Pinion gets the open three, and that's all she wrote. Pinion has 17. Right back up to 22 for South Florida. Falslev with the answer from 3. That's his 3rd 3 of the game. Boy, that's a dangerous pass. Bulls get away with it. And Collins off the feed from Pinion brings the house down for South Florida.
I thought he was going to tear the rim off. Pinion hit him with a perfect pass from the three-point line on that.
That'll be a
fast break.
goaltend on Collins. Yep.
Last 2 buckets here. Great pass down court. Lock and load for Pinion. And then another fantastic outlet pass. And then the oop, you couldn't deliver it better. Right to his hands. You could tell on his face he was happy about that one.
So Bulls basketball with a 19-point lead. Pinion with 17, including 5 3-pointers. Falslev able to pry that ball away. Bulls wind up with it. No shot clock reset. Nora to the basket, and Perriman with the rebound. Here come the Aggies. Open in the corner is King. Can't connect on the 3. Frenetic pace. That is South Florida basketball all over, but this Aggies team can run also. Niora from 3 leaves it short. King to the hoop. Picks it
Great ball
outside.
movement.
Good ball movement. Perriman with a 3. Elijah Perriman, freshman guard, hits from long range, and Utah State closes the gap a little further.
True freshman out of San Francisco, California. A big shot late in the game.
Bulls will try to get into the half-court offense a little bit here as we hit the 8-minute mark remaining. Collins with a nice dish. Oma Jaffo will be fouled. Gary Clark will get that whistle. Highlight reel stuff.
Look at this, just zips a pass from Pinion. Big time leap and a hard flush for South Florida.
Brian Hodgson in his first year with South Florida came from Arkansas State, had a great run there. He has installed an electric offense, and as we mentioned, Phil, he has rebuilt this roster, has only 2 returnees. One of them hasn't played this year because of injury, so this is a brand new team brand new philosophy, and it's exciting to watch.
It really is. We've been part of shoot around a few times. They are an intense practice with a little bit of levity right at the end. And it's incredible what he's been able to do so far here at South Florida.
Josh Amajafo will go to the free throw line. Rare miss for the Bulls. He'll get one more. Played at Robert Morris before coming to South Florida. His 8th point. Time getting short now for Utah State. They stay on the road after this one. They go to Charlotte, another American Conference opponent. That ball broken up by Enos. I think he disrupted Falslev's view of that, and it went out of bounds. Touch last by Utah State.
I think you're exactly right. Falslev couldn't see the ball come into him, and he just fumbled it when it got there. Enos being in the passing lanes at the right time.
Bulls into the front court. Collins out to set the screen. Brown was patiently waiting for it. Now he takes it all the way to the hoop and whistles on the rebound. It'll go out of bounds, and it will go to Utah State.
The second half has produced a lot more empty possessions for both teams. There's been a lot of effort for not quite as much scoring. There's been a few little bursts, but it's been more tame for sure.
Utah State coming off an overtime win over Montana State their last time out. Falslev forces his way in, and Collins says that's enough.
Wow, he spiked that like a volleyball.
Boy, if you're sitting in the floor seats, you better duck on something like that. That ball's going to get on you in a hurry.
Did he get that with two hands? That is emphatic.
That'll make you think before shooting in the paint again. El Amin has checked back in, so has Collins for Utah State. Shot clock running down. Falslev saw it, but had to force up a tough shot, and the Bulls back in business. Into the paint, and a foul call. This is going to be Falslev, I believe. That will be his third. That'll make it his second on Falslev. And Collins to the free throw line. Collins well traveled in the college basketball world, LSU and Kentucky, before coming to South Florida. He has been a key component for this Bulls team.
Defensively, he is just explosive. You have to pay attention to where he's at, because he could get up and from the weak side block a shot on any play.
King trying to maintain control.
Bounce around like a pinball.
And the Bulls come out with it. Here comes Amajafo in transition, and he's going to put the brakes on.
Smart play, didn't have the numbers. Try to take advantage of this turnover from Utah State.
Here comes Brown, and that's going to be a foul. I think they're going to get Falslev again. That will be his third. And this is going to be free throws for C.J. Brown.
C.J. Brown, the line for the Bulls, shooting 2.
After the first half, we didn't think South Florida would really get to their numbers for the free throws. Usually attempting 30, but they have really picked it up in the second half, getting fouled quite a bit, up to 22 attempts so far.
Isaiah Nelson, who left the game with 3 fouls at the 11:03 mark, is now back in. And Brown missed them both, but this is going to be a lane violation, I believe.
I believe you're right.
El-Amin.
Yeah, if you watch CJ on a replay of that one, he actually glances over right before he shoots because he saw the movement.
So another opportunity here for Brown. And the offensive board by Nelson, but the whistles, and if they got Nelson, that'll be 4. Nelson can't believe it. Brian Hodgson can't believe it. And Damian Collins, you're up.
Sounds like the building can't believe it. Nelson, short-lived for Nelson coming back in for a moment.
So he is down now with 4 fouls at the 6:05 mark. And Gary Clark, a 53% free throw shooter, will go to the line. Nelson saying it wasn't me. 1-and-1 is no good, and now El-Amin gets tied up with Omajafo, and that's a foul.
Aggies foul number 35, Adlon El-Amin. That's his second foul.
Second foul on El-Amin, and if you were with us for the first half, it was a lot more cleanly played than the second half has been. And the whistle's blowing a lot tonight. Here comes Omajafo with 8 points and 3 rebounds, as you see.
Second half has definitely been more physical, a lot of people on the ground. A bit of just, you know, a ruckus event.
Double figures for Omajafo. He's got 10. Jordy Barnes, sophomore guard in the game for the first time for Utah State. He sends it off to Collins, and he's able to score. Athletic play by MJ Collins, the Vanderbilt transfer.
Incredible effort to get around those long arms of Collins.
Nice job by Barnes anticipating that pass to Pinion. Bulls were trying to get him an open 3, and Barnes able to break it up. 5.5 to go.
Still a lot of time for teams like these where they can really put a lot of points on the scoreboard quickly.
That one is turned over. Here comes Collins on the dunk. C.J. Brown a little bit slow to get up after that scrum. He's holding the back of his leg. They're going to get Niora in, and hopefully Brown maybe just needs to get stretched out, but he will have to depart.
Definitely looks like tight hammies for him, maybe.
Pinion will back it out. 17-point advantage. This is about as close as Utah State has been able to get to in this second half. 3 from Enos, no good. Pinion has it taken away. Here comes Barnes on the breakout, and he will lay it in. First points of the game for Jordy Barnes. And the Bulls getting ragged here. Omajafo loses the handle. And out of bounds with it was Falsla. So the Bulls very fortunate to get this ball back, but it's getting a little ragged here with 4:50 to go.
Back-to-back turnovers into fast break points for the Aggies.
Nelson on the bench with 4 fouls. C.J. Brown shaken up a moment ago. Important minutes for Niora here, the freshman. The spin, the scoop, and he drops it in.
Incredible. What's even more incredible is Niora didn't play basketball until 5 years ago. He was a soccer player before his growth spurt.
4 points, 4 boards for the freshman. Jumper from the corner, no good, but a foul, and this will be 3 free throws. They're going to get Oma Jaffo. And MJ Collins is going to go to the line. Brian Hodgson concerned about the fouling, especially down the stretch here in this second half.
Didn't look like he got him in the act of shooting, but he didn't give him any room to land. You got to have room for the offensive player to come back down in the same plane that they went up in.
Collins came into this game at 96% from the free throw line. He's 4 out of 5 so far tonight. One more coming. Collins now with 14. Remember, he averages a little over 21.
And there's 3 the hard way.
Aggies still within shouting distance. We go to break, 4:09 to go. South Florida trying to close this thing out. The Bulls have had at least 3 men in double figures in every game this year. Tonight they've got 4, Pinion, Brown, Nelson, and Oma Jaffo. We're thinking that Brown might be dealing with some cramping. He's on his feet and is pounding some liquids there in the corner. There he is. So we'll see if he's able to return or not after leaving the game a moment ago.
CJ's been very instrumental so far in this game.
Inbounded to Oma Jaffo. The Bulls working their way up court against pressure. Enos breaks free. Pinion found him, and the Bulls get an easy 2. Falslev into the paint, and his jumper good. Boy, Collins got way up in the air trying to get it, but
just not quick enough.
Hits again. Barnes in to knock that ball away, but could not stay in bounds. It's going to go back to South Florida with 3:31 to go. Aggies pulling up the defensive pressure, but the Bulls still up top. South Florida and Utah State. These 2 teams played a couple of years ago in Logan. With the Aggies winning that one tonight, it has been South Florida leading from start to finish. But the Aggies hanging around under Jared Calhoun, not giving in, and Bulls just trying to be careful with the basketball against some big-time defensive pressure here. Enos almost lost it. 10 on the shot clock, and the Bulls not into their offense yet. That's what this Utah State defense can do to you. But to the basket, strong move by Niora, and he's going to get free throws.
As someone who spent a lot of time honing their game, the fact that he's been playing for 5 years is hard to believe, at the least. It's incredible how well he's played. He has a bronze medal for Canada in the under-19s. I mean,
one of 3 Canadians on the roster for the Bulls. He was not getting many minutes at all, but did some good things in practice. Got a couple opportunities in game situations, came through and earned the confidence of Brian Hodgson, and he's getting significant minutes again in this one. Here's Barnes. He's given a lot of energy since coming in off the bench. Inside it goes. Clark too strong, out of bounds. Touched last by South Florida, I believe. Still, though, if you're the Bulls, you want to run time off this clock, and they forced Utah State down to 10 on the shot clock. Game clock under 3 minutes. Falslev with a fadeaway. Bulls had it for a moment. That should not be a shot clock violation. They did touch rim. Barnes with a three, and now the Bulls with a basketball and a chance to run some clock here with 2:27 to go.
The Aggies are starting to feel like they gotta have something start moving in their direction.
Bulls content to run a little clock. Now they'll start to put it in motion. Niora draws the foul. Free throws coming. And again, the Bulls ran it down to 3 on the shot clock on their last possession. They got it down to 4 this time.
It's hard to draw it up much better than that. USF has done a great job of running time off the clock and still getting great looks and coming up with fouls. And they've made them pay at the free throw line.
We talked about the Bulls getting opportunities from the line, averaging 22 of 30 from the free throw line this season. Tonight, with that make, they are 21 of 30. And now the Bulls right on their average for made free throws. Baseline jumper good for Collins. Under 2 minutes to go. Yora with so much patience. And that'll be a foul on Falslev for bumping in to Isaiah Jones. That'll be his 5th. Falslev will foul out with 19 points.
That's a pretty big blow to the Aggies' chances right now, because Falslev has been a lot of their offense, a lot of their defense. He's gotten it done for them on both sides.
3 3-pointers among his 19. First shot good for Isaiah Jones. His 3rd point. He's now 4 of 4 from the line. So a comfortable margin for the Bulls now with under 2 minutes to go. Barnes gets cut off by Enos. Collins will launch. And Collins for South Florida with the rebound. Bulls will take a little bit of time here again. They're going to go up to 5 and 4 on the season. Utah State in danger of taking their first loss after 7 consecutive wins. Niora can't finish. And coming back the other way, the Aggies, King with a big step and then throws it out of bounds in the corner. But there is going to be a foul. They're going to get Niora. So this will be on South Florida.
A point that Coach made this afternoon when we talked to him about shoot around was he pointed out Utah State hasn't really played a real home game or a real away game this season. They've played 3 neutral sites and a few home games, but they have not played on a true on-the-road scenario, and it looks like this is the first one, and it's a rude awakening for what the road can give you.
First of a 2-game road swing for them. They'll be going on to Charlotte to play the 49ers after this. Preseason number 2 pick in the Mountain West. For 2 for Collins. The pressure again. Jones still looking, and the Bulls get the timeout before the 5 seconds. Well, the Bulls, for the most part, have done a good job against this relentless Utah State pressure. South Florida's gotten some easy baskets off it. I'm sure 17 turnovers for South Florida is more than Coach Hodgson wanted, but for the most part, they haven't been seriously hurt by this backcourt pressure today.
They really haven't. They've done a great job of attacking from the opposite side on the pressure of that full court defense. it's made it difficult for the Aggies to be successful with that trapping.
So the Bulls will inbound it here with 1 minute, 2 seconds to go. Joseph Pinion with 17. Set the tone early with some three-pointers early first half that helped get South Florida out to a lead that they have not given up all night long.
Big Show Joe putting in some great minutes for South Florida tonight.
And again, the freshman Niora just running clock here. 5 to shoot. To the hoop. Blocked and taken by Gary Clark.
Are you serious, Clark?
Game down to 30 seconds. Clark on the follow hits the shot and has a chance for a three-point play.
Clark is an interesting player. Coming off the bench for all 7 games this year for Utah State, almost averaging a double-double. Leading the team in 2 statistical categories coming off the bench. That's a difficult thing to do. Been very quiet this evening, though.
Transfer from Texas A&M Community College. The shot clock is turned off. Utah State will not challenge, and the Bulls will run this thing out. South Florida goes to 5-4 on the season. They have College of Charleston next. Utah State falls to 7-1. They go to Charlotte next. Bulls still unbeaten at home, and Phil, just a really big win for them, especially when you consider, as we mentioned before, a quad 1 opponent. This is a win for South Florida that will resonate well into spring.
Absolutely. This is something you can look back on when you're having a difficult moment in a season and go, look, if we could do it then, we can do it now. This is a huge milestone for them.
So the Bulls, back from the Bahamas where they dropped 2 out of 3, go on to win this one. There's a good look at Joseph Pinion, who had 17 points in this game tonight to lead the Bulls. I thought the baskets he made early, Phil, were really crucial.
It's something that I've seen through his scoring so far this season. Joseph Pinion gets it done in the first half, for sure. His second half performance seems to always be a little less offensively based and more IQ based, but his offense in the first half was huge. And in the second half, he made some important shots at times when the Aggies were showing pressure. He broke up their runs.
5 3-pointers tonight for Pinion. The Bulls were 8 for 21 overall behind the arc. And it was interesting, they hit the 3-pointers. They felt that slashing to the basket was going to be really difficult for them tonight. But as the game wore on, they were able to do that too, perhaps in part because they hit the outside shots early.
Those outside shots early make a team have to adjust early. What I think they did a great job was they got out early, they put that pressure on, and the Aggies never got into the rhythm of that, frantic defense that they play. They break all the rules. They'll turn their head and completely trap away. We didn't see that much in the first half. We saw it more in the second half, and it became an issue. But USF was able to hold on and get them out of that defense.
Well, you tend to think about offense when you think about this team, but boy, their defense was tough tonight. Courtside, Kaylee, it's yours.
Joe, when you look at this defensive effort tonight, I mean, how were you able to disrupt a team that usually finds so much success in an offensive rhythm?
It's just really our pace. Our pace really causes problems for a lot of teams. So I just feel like if we play with the pace we're supposed to play on offense and defense, I don't think there's a team that can mess with us.
You were a big part of the 15-0 run in the first half. When you hit streaks like that, what are you doing well?
Just playing defense for doing the little things. That always leads to good offense. So, we just got to continue to do the little things, and it'll work in our favor.
We spoke earlier in the broadcast that it might be a loud one tonight, and it was. What sort of support, how does that impact you guys on the court?
It's a lot of love from the fans. Whenever the fans show up, we got to play harder. So just having everybody in here, so we just had to play. We just came out and played hard.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, Kaylee, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. For Phil Dahl, I'm Jim Love. Saying so long from Tampa, where the final score is South Florida 74, Utah State 61. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.